Hello and welcome. My name is Arni Heiskanen and I'm a construction innovation agent based in Helsinki, Finland. I'm also the co-producer of AEC TechTV and blogger at aec-business.com. I'm here with two guests to discuss the impact of digital technologies on the real estate and construction sector. Microsoft's Director of Transformation Services, Salla Eckhardt, is the worldwide construction lead of a community that takes the open innovation approach to how technology might be applied into the built environment industry. Also welcome Adam Crossley, the Director for the Environment at Skanska. Adam leads Skanska's journey to net zero emissions and is also a member of the UK's Green Construction Board, which is a cross-government industry body leading the built environment to become more sustainable. Today's focus is how can technology unlock sustainable development and increase community collaboration. Salla, you have just been appointed by the US National Institute of Building Sciences as the chair of their new BIM program steering committee. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Arni. Thank you for mentioning that.
In your role at Microsoft and chair for this committee, what role do you think technology has to play to increase data trustworthiness in the industry?
A very good question. I think it has a more significant role than people in the built environment industry have realized today. Data is created every day, all the time, either in the digital format, if we are talking about the architects and engineers or digital contractors. But then we are also looking into the real estate part of the industry, that we have a lot of sensor technology already existing in the legacy portfolios and buildings, but there's still a disconnect in mapping those two together. How do we leverage the building information model data and then refine it into digital twins using the IoT and IoA data and everything else that we already have in our hands?
Adam, what is Skanska doing to meet the UK net zero carbon target by mid-century? And what role does technology have in helping you achieve this?
Hi, Arne. Yeah, thanks. Well, at Skanska, we're committed to operating with net zero by 2045 or earlier, and that includes all of our supply chain and our value chain. And we're doing lots of things to help us on the journey with that, such as investing in low carbon materials, thinking about how we can decarbonize our plant and construction equipment and machinery, as well as focusing heavily on data and digital. The main thing we're doing, though, is educating our people and our leaders. And because I think the one thing is the chapter of decarbonization skills residing just in sustainability professionals is over. And the next chapter has to be that all construction professionals are able to decarbonize. So that's procurers and designers and leaders. So the main thing we're doing is educating those groups of people and upskilling their capability. When it comes to technology, I think the first thing to say is that the built environment is an industry of physical products. So in order to get to net zero, we have to have innovation in physical products. But data and digital, I completely agree with Salla. And technology has a huge role to play in pushing that forward. I'll give you a few examples. Digital twin is one. Salla mentioned, we build a building. We don't often in the built environment, or as often as we should, have full access to that data such that we can manage the energy efficiency of that building as efficiently as possible from a carbon perspective. Another example is design. We've worked really closely with Microsoft to develop our EC3 tool, or I should say the EC3 tool, to help with carbon and design. In the built environment, you might be surprised that a lot of design is still done in an analog fashion, even if a digital tool is used. So we haven't fully used things like artificial intelligence to apply to designs to bring different solutions to it. So there's so much of a role that technology can play. But I think I would just also say that I think the key blocker in the built environment is not the technology. When I look left and right in other industries, most of the technologies already exist, or we know what they're going to be. So the blocker is how do we get the built environment to use them, not what the technology is. I think that's going to be the key differentiator in the next few years.
Okay, thank you. Very good points there. So what strategies and tactics do you suggest for the engineers looking to adopt technology and data to unlock more sustainable development?
Well, for me, I think the first thing engineers and architects should do is make sure the data is there. There's a surprising amount of construction projects still go on where there isn't a good understanding or a robust library of carbon data at the beginning of the project where it needs to be. So I think the first job is to make sure the carbon data is there, and there's plenty of sources to get that. And then the second thing is to use that data alongside the cost data to get to the best net zero outcomes possible for that project, and think about that from step one, because that's when the biggest impact is going to be.
Okay, and Salla.
I think that there is an opportunity for recreating the digital business model for architects and engineers, and rather than selling the design service and selling the design intent, there might be an opportunity for creating a services design, and then that way extending the services all the way to the operations phase, and reusing the data that is collected from the buildings and the built environment's technical performance, and that way advising the real estate owners how to harmonize and optimize and balance what has already been created based on the digital versions that the original design teams have created. So overall, I'm hoping that we can start creating more transparency into the data that we have and sharing the data for the benefit of creating a better and more sustainable future.
So Salla and Adam, what would you say are the main points that our audience should remember from this discussion? Salla, you go first.
Thank you. My advice would be build digitally first and then the physical twin.
Adam.
Yeah, for me, two things. I think educate yourself on decarbonization is everyone's job now, not just the sustainability professional. And then I think the second thing would be, if you're building a project, look to what technology and digital solutions already exist somewhere that you can bring in, rather than thinking about developing something new, because there's plenty out there to use.
Okay, thank you very much, and let's continue the discussion, and hopefully I'll meet you in person in the future. Thank you.